Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. Here we go.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad, a new show, which actually is kind of a new show, but not. We did it last season once, and this season it will become a regular part of the Highbury Squad channel and series. But before we get stuck into stuff, of course, I welcome my podcast brother from another mother, Mr. Super Kev, Super Kevin Campbell. Bob. Let's see that shirt, Kev. That's nice. That's a nice 89. Round number, isn't it?
89. That's a nice even number.
Let's welcome, of course, the squaddies in the house. Good evening, everybody. At ease. All right, lots to dive into today. I wanted to put Mark's comment up first because this is very, very clever, Mark. We said we're covering the good, the bad, and the ugly tonight, and he says, is this show about Matty K, Newman, and Taib?
So they're the good, the bad, and the ugly, are they? Oh, my God. Hey, free Cowboys at least. Free Cowboys.
Totally. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get stuck right into stuff. This is the YouTube comment show. As explained, a lot of our listeners cannot be in the chat live. So what we're going to be doing going forward once a week, we're going to be accumulating all the questions, whether they are positive, negative, even ugly, as we've said. We're going to read them out. Kev's all ready for it. I am too. Kev, I'm going to start off with one that might surprise many. This is from Gooner72, who posted from the Monday Madness show.
Yeah. I'm
not happy that everyone is poo-pooing Mari. Lukaku is an extremely talented player and his game is all about hassling and out-muscling defenders, and no other forward in world football does this as well as Lukaku. He's an effing nightmare to play against. We have to remember that Mari isn't our first choice sided centre back, so he won't be as good as Gabriel. There have also been replies to this from Jeff Butler saying, my God, come on, the guy is bang average. Yet another master plan from this fraud Arteta out again. And Gooner72 responds, Mari was a victim of Arteta's shitty system. Playing a back three with wing backs was the right way to plan against Chelsea. And that moron chose a system that favoured Chelsea. Totally agree, and Arteta out now. So he's standing up for the player, not the coach. What's your take on Gooner72 standing up for Pablo Mari?
Gooner 72, right?
Yes.
It must be. We're not playing in 1972.
71 squad was really good though.
Look, but 72. The bottom line is this, Sophie. We understand he's not the starter. Gabriel is. We understand that. But the fact of the matter is, he's playing. He's starting for Arsenal. So again, what amazes me is people always come out with this, if we'd have played free at the Black, if we'd have played this, if we'd have changed this after the event. No, Chelsea were just better than us on the day. They would have beat us, no matter what, because they would have asked too many questions. One thing I will agree with Gooner 72 is Pablo Mari will not play against a striker like Lukaku, that's for sure. His power, his strength, and now his all-round game, Sophie, what we saw is right top level. That's why Chelsea paid that money for him. And look, he unhinged us. He unhinged Pablo Mari. In the end, Pablo Mari, to the end, didn't do too bad. But the damage was already done, let's be honest.
And the damage continued. It was an onslaught of damage. Okay, here we go. Let's take Razor Burn here. A great show with many good talking points. Hard to argue with KC, as no matter the training tactics or system, individual players need to adapt and cooperate when the situation requests it. Too many heads down when things go bad. A fairly new squad, so plenty of hard work required to get the players to gel, and we have to be willing to allow Arteta time. A long season ahead, and happy to have you guys, gals, along for the ride up the Arsenal.
Yeah, look, that's a sensible, obviously, outlook on things, and I understand the opinions of most are not shared like that. You know, we've if as a football club we'd really thought about being the top and up there, Mikel Arteta wouldn't even be in the job, Sophie. Let's be brutally honest, because there was a lot more experienced managers there ready to come in. But the owners went with Mikel Arteta for a reason. So it doesn't surprise me if they back him. Like I say, I back whoever is the manager. Whoever is the manager. Because I know how hard it is to win. And just because people think, oh, if you change the system, we're going to win. No, this football doesn't work like that. It actually does not work like that. And again, lack of system and micromanaging. This is all stuff that fans will talk about. Micromanaging and players are the ones that have to do the business, whether we like it or not.
Okay, I have another one for you here. But beforehand, I forgot to mention yesterday, Static has recovered from a concussion, Kev. Not been well at all. Good to see you back in chat. And we're all happy Static. That you are doing better, Static. Well done. And sorry that I didn't pick up on that yesterday, but I did find your comment in the chat when I went back to do some research for today's show. Okay, Kev, this is from Armchair Supporter. Again, this one is from last night's show. KC said the players should make adjustments on the pitch. Some managers, including Conte, Mourinho, Tuchel and Pep, don't like this. In fact, Thierry Henry was subbed at Barcelona for not following instructions, and he even included the YouTube link as to where that happened. What's your response to Armchair Supporter?
No, do you see? Armchair Supporter, good try, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Thierry Henry tried to do something that was outside the game plan. Not adjustment. It wasn't adjustment, Armchair Gooner. So let's differentiate what we're actually talking about. Because the way Barcelona play, Barcelona do not want you to cross too much. As Thierry Henry, I think Thierry Henry wanted to run inside when the system is to stay outside. Okay? And the reason is to stay outside because it creates more room for the midfield. But Thierry Henry, being Thierry Henry, wanted to be a maverick and he wanted to make the run. Every player have to adjust on the pitch. It's the part of being a professional. But not to take away from the game plan, but sometimes you have to adjust on the pitch, because if you're getting exposed somewhere, you have to adjust. Because you know what, Sophie? If you've got a stone in your shoe, you don't leave your stone in your shoe, walk around with a stone all day. You take your foot out and take the stone out. So you deal with the issue. And so I understand what you're saying, Armchair Gooner, but it's not quite the same with what Thierry Henry's talking about.
All right. And good evening to everyone from all corners of the earth. Swedish Gooner back in the house tonight as well. Everyone from all continents. We adore and love each and every one of you. And these comments come from all corners of the earth too, Kev. I have another one for you here from Remy Owojobi. How many Arsenal players on that pitch that day would fit into Chelsea's 11? Before you can blame the manager, at least 3 or 4 of your players should be in a combined 11. And here's the scoop, you guys. Funnily enough, we have a lot of supporters. We've got Aston Villa, West Ham, Leeds, Liverpool, and some Chelsea supporters that are very cordial and listen to the show and comment. And so this is coming from a non-Arsenal supporter, Kevin. What's your take?
Yeah, but you say things like that. I say that. I say, listen, don't have our strongest team. The team that goes out there, of course, have to scrap and have to fight and have to try and be competitive. But it's a mismatch. None of our players get into their team. Really, none of them. So, again, our strongest team will still find it difficult against that Chelsea team, if we're honest. Yeah, we have come up trumps against them and we've beaten them at times. But the last game we played before this one was at Stamford Bridge, and I don't know how we got away with the win. Thank God we got away with the win. But it was a mismatch for most of the game. So with a
it was a Frank Lampard team as well, not a Tuchel team.
No, it was Tuchel, wasn't it? It was Tuchel.
The 1-0?
Yeah, it was Tuchel.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So all I'm saying is, Soph, is that although it was Tuchel, we got very fortunate on the day because Timo Werner was playing in Plimsolls. And, we got a fortunate goal. And I'm pleased for it because I love it when Arsenal win, obviously. But the gauge isn't right. The right gauge is you look at I always say, look at the benches. The benches said it all, Soph.
Mm-hmm.
They could rest so many quality players. And our bench was like a misfit bench at times.
Okay. You want the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Bring it.
Okay, here we go. This is from Georgie George.
Oh, really? Come on then, Georgie. I think I know. I don't know that name, but that name rings a bell.
It might be Georgie Gorge, actually. What are you smoking, Kevy? Calling you Kevy, by the way. I think the squaddies will love that part, by the way.
You got to put it on. I'm going to bruck up this. Georgie Gorge. I have to bruck him up. Yep. I have to bruck him up, man.
I may back you up with the Bruk and then the samurai sword.
Take it off with his head. Who's this Georgie Gorgie fella? All right, come
I haven't finished. I've only just started the first sentence, by the way.
Hit me with it. And look at that. I'm already ready, Kevin. He's out of order already.
Okay. What are you smoking, Kevy? The good stuff from Australia? Arteta is clueless. Mari is one of his signings. He has signed or resigned 20 players. This is his squad. Kevy, he keeps calling, he doubled down on it. Kevy, stop living in the past. Today's the present and tomorrow is the future. Tell me what bloody style is Arteta playing? Arsenal are playing like bottom half of the table team. Keep up the great work, Sophie. Look forward to Women on Wednesday when I hear more sense. Ouch!
Well, Georgie Gorgie, listen. All I'm going to say to you is, here's the difference. Mikel Arteta is in for a reason. There was opportunities to get more experienced managers. The club did not take it. Not my fault. Not your fault. But that's what the owners decided. Why? Because they're on the inside. They probably know what's going on in the dressing room. And they're not going to bankroll a big name. So, here we go. Yeah, Mikel Arteta has to sign players. Of course he has to sign players. And the fact of the matter is, Mari is not a starter. How many of that team would be starters if our full squad were done? No excuse. This is just facts. Minimum, 6 of those players probably wouldn't play. Okay? So don't come at me, Georgie, Poogie, with that nonsense, right? And don't you dare call me Kevy again. Put some respect on the Arsenal. And I'm not having it. I'm not having. And yes, you will hear a lot of sense on Wednesday Women. You will hear a lot of sense on Wednesday Women. But
like we said, you guys, we hand it out here.
This old deluded fella here.
Deluded, Kev.
Deluded fella here has got more sense than you, Gorgie. That's for sure.
So good. It's so good. I love it. And like we said, we read out the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, we don't hide.
People are like, chill, Kevy. As you can imagine, the chat room are loving it. But they're now calling you super Kevy Kev.
That don't even go.
That don't even go. I tried.
No, but I'm talking about them. That don't even go.
Yeah, no, that doesn't even go. And you're right. He's Kev takes it all on the chin, Trev. It's fantastic. All right, here we go. Justin, Kev, says, Kevin is a pro footballer. I agree. I don't need the manager to say to me what to do. But again, just before he said Tierney is not there yet, not 100% finished, he needs the manager to coach him. The part he did not know in terms of him becoming the finished article. I take into account the player's mentality, the way of behaving, how they've evolved and changed. Have the players done that? It's too much to speak about what's happening now. It feels like we're the same as before, but he totally understands where you're coming from, Kev, in terms of putting it on the players. But also Justin is kind of looking for the answers of how much time's going to pass before that mentality changes.
Sophie, I think we discussed it yesterday in the fact that I don't know whether Mikel Arteta will be manager in 4 weeks. I don't know. But here's the difference. And, we talk about these experienced managers. Here's the thing. We talk about all these experienced managers. Why do you think they go and buy experienced players all the time, Sophie? They go and buy experienced players because they don't need to coach them in the little things like being able to go and tell Saka, come and sit here for 5 minutes. Because that's all part of being an experienced player. All the little things, all the communication bits, that is all integrated into the experienced player. Young players need to learn this stuff. And yeah, you could try and put it right on the training ground, but sometimes it takes a little bit more time because when you're in the heat of battle, people act differently. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Justin doubled down and followed up, Kev, saying, I find Sophie very different when she speaks to KC. You're not making your point the same way when I see you doing other videos. I see you like a bit too much. I think you're a bit too much respectful. I don't get your point. Even the beginning about Tierney. Okay. And then he goes on and on and on, basically. So my response on YouTube, Kev, was I say what I see and my opinion is consistent based on what I see. So I just wanted to read it out then that I got one from Justin too. Okay.
Can I add to that quickly? One thing I've noticed, when you get the opportunity to do your own video, it's different because you can come with the fire, you come with facts, you come with your opinion, and you come with feelings. When we're having a dialogue, you still bring the heat. That's what I can't understand. You still bring the heat to me.
Absolutely. All the time. I mean?
So, Justin, trust me, I'm treading careful sometimes because that samurai sword comes out. I might want to break the neck. I can't get close with that sword.
Nope. No one wants to be messing with this. All right. Here we go. Let's see. I got another one for you here, Kev. From Colin Williams. If Oba and Laka come back and start scoring, we will be fine. But before the window closes, I'd still sign another striker. We need goals badly. We need goals to win matches. The midfield hasn't scored enough since Ramsey, so the strikers need to. What's your take on Colin's comment?
I think we need Lacazette and Aubameyang back and scoring as soon as possible. I think, again, Sophie, to have all that pressure on the youngsters is unfair. It's not right. That pressure is for Lacazette and Aubameyang. They're the main boys. That's why we spent the big money to get them in, Sophie. So we really need to get them in the team and get them functioning and get them scoring. By
What's your take?
Or by crook.
Kev, what do you think about? I wanted this to be about the comments today, but I have to ask you this because it is being reported. We say that loosely, right? Trippier, right back potential, and they're looking for a player exchange, and one of the names that has come up is Lacazette. And you and I were talking about how we've missed him for his holding up the ball, what he does on and off the ball. Would you swap Lacazette for Trippier at this point?
No, I wouldn't. No chance. Anybody who's watched the first 2 games of Arsenal, you can see our problem is when it does go up there, it doesn't stick. When you watch Brentford, when you watch Chelsea, the ball went up to their striker and it's stuck up there. They could bring other people into play, and that gets all their team up the pitch at pace. We don't have that luxury, unfortunately. And it's only because there's 2 young players playing who are not used to that position. But there's no way, no. So if we're going to get Trippier, we pay the money for him and we get him. But we cannot get rid of Lacazette just yet because we don't have anybody else in the squad who can do the job as well as he does.
And a lot of the squaddies are agreeing with you, Kev. That has to be adding to the squad versus making us weaker by giving away a good asset that can help us at this time, given the deficiencies in holding up the ball up front and allowing that interplay with the midfield and the flanks. And we all know that Lacazette is the best that we have right now. And to replace Lacazette will be far more expensive, won't it, Kev? Just to give him away. There has to be other options in that player trade if there is going to be one.
Well, Sophie, don't forget, I mentioned and we discussed Tammy Abraham. And people were poo-pooing it. No, he doesn't do it. But you know one thing he can do? He can be a presence and he can hold the ball up. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if anybody saw his debut for Roma. Whoa. 2 assists, hit the crossbar. It was a constant threat. Incredible. Listen, a lot of people don't give people respect just because they think he's not good enough. Easy, damn fine player.
Yeah, and I agree with Tom. Give them Bellerin, give them Cedric, give them whoever, get Trippier, but don't give away Lacazette right now unless you have a solid plan to replace him. And true say, I don't believe that Trippier is another Willian deal. Are you serious? Trippier, did you see Trippier play at the Euros? Have you seen him play at Atletico Madrid last season? They won La Liga.
Unbelievable.
And he's been coached, Kev, by Diego Simeone for however long, whether you're under Simeone for a year or 5 years, you're going to learn from him because he's that kind of coach.
His toughness now, he's not the same player that when he was up the road. I can tell you that much.
Up the ugly road.
Yeah.
All right, Kev, here we go. This one is from Paul Douglas Pett. These are Arteta's players. This is the style of football that Arteta is trying to implement. Arteta micromanages players and they are not allowed to improvise. He spends the entire match telling players where to be and what to do. You're a legend, Kev, but it's obvious for all to see. What is your response to Paul?
I think I'll probably answer this and probably another 300 questions about this micromanaging nonsense. When you're on the football pitch, the manager can't micromanage you. What is wrong with people? You can't even hear him. You can't even hear the manager. So how is the manager trying to do things on the side going to be able to micromanage a player on the football pitch? Sophie, it's nonsense. But it comes from people who don't know. So I understand. And that's the narrative that goes around, Sophie, that Arteta micromanage. The bottom line is this, Sophie. The players, we do not have enough experienced players to help the youngsters, okay? So mistakes are going to get made, especially now that a lot of our experience are injured. So we're going with quite a few younger players and players who probably wouldn't start if our better players are fit. There's gonna be poor performances. There is going to be that. And do you know what? I could tell you this much. If the team could do what the manager wanted, there'd be no reason to micromanage, would there? There'd be no reason.
Yeah. I mean, I asked you, how many times did Tuchel get off his chair versus Arteta? Arteta doesn't sit down.
He doesn't, because Tuchel knows. Tuchel's squad is full of experience. And even the young ones like Mason Mount is experienced now. He doesn't need to. And Leon, you could say excuses, but you know what you're afraid of, Leon? You're afraid of the truth. I could stand on the truth, Sophie. People who reckon it's excuses. What am I making excuses about?
Well, Dangerous D thinks you're talking in riddles.
I ain't talking in riddles. I only tell the truth because I know if I tell the truth, I could stand on it. But all this is gobbledygook chat. Talking in riddles. How am I talking in riddles? I'm talking football speak. If your first 11 is out on the pitch, we stand a better chance. If they're not, we don't. How is that excuses or gobbledygook or riddles?
Well, Darren
wake
here
up,
is
people. Wake up.
We know who you are. We know who you are. Arteta's lawyer. We know who you are. Oh, interesting little chant right there from Darren Sullivan, Kev.
Hey, listen, and you could say what you like I keep saying, and I'll keep saying it. Like I say, I always would tell you the truth. If Arteta's there in 2 months' time, 2 weeks' time, I don't know. But one thing I do know is this. Arsenal Football Club will be a lot better when we have our full quota of players.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. So then to follow that up, I have a comment for you here from Gurish. This was the Arsenal v Chelsea post-game show. Gurish, thanks as everyone. Thank you for sending in your comments. Unless our fans lower our expectations, we will have a meltdown every season. Let's get one thing straight. We can never win the title or the Champions League, ever. If we want to, we have to spend as much money as City, Chelsea, and Manchester United just to catch up, let alone outspend them. We will not even get top 4 if we do that. Think about it. Is that ever going to be possible? We have an owner who will not spend and fans who want Antonio Conte. Please wake up and smell the shite. The fans' anger is misdirected. It should be towards the owners. Mikel Arteta is being made a scapegoat and will fail. Then a new manager, no spending, then fans venting their anger on that manager, and the cycle just continues. What do you say to Guresh?
Guresh, I think Guresh is making excuses, don't you? So, Guresh, well said. And you know what? We've said it many a times, and I've said it. Arsenal fans do not want to accept the truth. They just don't. The fact of the matter is, Sophie, we are not the same football club that we once were. People have to accept it. It's not nice. You don't want to accept it. I don't like it, but it is the truth. Antonio Conte will want a king's ransom because he knows this squad is not equipped. It is not equipped. Anybody out there could tell me this squad is equipped. One thing we have to do, we have to spend just to try and keep up with the back end of the top boys. We're not taking anybody over.
I think that's Maya here. I'm putting this up because it's true. The highest 5-year net spend in the Premier League. Owners are not the problem. I think this is a little bit of a myth too. We've spent more money than any other team in Europe right now.
Sophie,
but I understand the comment.
No,
go on,
Sophie,
Kev.
But like I keep saying, this is a legacy of poor recruitment. Yeah, money has been spent, but what's it been spent on? We're supposed to have assets in our football club of the last 5 years that we will be able to challenge, or at least challenge for that Champions League spot. Not be 8th in the league, but it's legacy. But
and like Mag says, Kev, we've not spent the money wisely.
Exactly.
We've been given the money. Yeah.
We've been given the money. But you see, people will then turn around and call me deluded and say that I'm making excuses when the truth is right there in front of them, Sophie. So I don't care. So I don't care what they want to say.
How are West Ham doing so well, Kev?
West Ham have bought wisely.
Like Mags asked.
Yeah, West Ham have bought wisely. They've built a system. But look where West Ham are. West Ham were where we were. That's where they are. They're not bypassing Man City, Chelsea. They're not bypassing none of them. They are in around that spot where Leicester are, etc. That's where West Ham. That's where we were. But we have fallen below. Why? Because our squad isn't great.
But he's spent 200 million, Kev. That's a lot of money. Like, we've spent 130 million so far this season. He spent 200 million.
Sophie, you spent 130 million. How many of the players have actually played yet? We've got to give them time. They've got to get on the pitch. So
I agree with that completely.
Just because you spend money, now none of them have been on the pitch. That's supposed to all of a sudden magic that we're going to change. No, it doesn't. They've got to get on the pitch and they've got to get playing. And then people are going to say, it's excuses. It's not excuses. What's the point of you spending the money to change it if they can't get on the pitch?
All right, Kev, I've got another one for you here, which is interesting. This is coming from Brother01. Considering Adu and Arteta were both midfielders, you'd think our midfield would be half decent, not have more holes than a Swiss cheese.
Oh, God.
I had to read it out. I thought it was clever. But it's true. I mean, sometimes you think, you know, you're a defender, you can fix the defense, you're a midfielder, but I guess it doesn't work out that way. What do you think about the fact that they both have been midfielders, and yet you keep crying out, Basuma, Basuma, Basuma? Why can't they see what you see, Kev?
Well, you've got to attract the player. That's the issue. That's the issue Arsenal have, Sophie. You've got to attract the player. Right? That's the bottom line. We've been linked with all sorts of central midfielders. Let's be honest, from the start of the transfer window, we've been linked, but we haven't got anyone over the line. And in the end, we've ended up keeping Granit Xhaka. So, again, our problems are still there. Our issues will still be there.
Yeah, they certainly will. Okay, this is from Ranjan Chetty, a regular listener of the show who can't be in live chat but always comments on our YouTube channel. Thanks, Ranjan, for your support. You are epic. When Partey returns, there is absolutely no doubt that he will replace Lokonga. Now, Kev, it's a long post, but I'm just going to read you like the highlight, because this is something that is bothering a lot of Arsenal fans. They want to see Partey with Lokonga. And I'll just read the next line to you. Arteta has invested his career in resigning Xhaka, making him captain, and basing his midfield around him. Again, as I've said before, this recruitment is abysmal, and the preparation, the team selection and setup will result in a 10th to 14th at best finish. I recall Kevin saying at the beginning of the season, but Sophie, he hasn't had preseason, this preseason. It's only preseason, Sophie, it doesn't matter. Now it's he's missing key players. None of these key players would have prevented the acres of space Chelsea were allowed down our left. I love Kevin and what he represents. He's Arsenal through and through. But please ask him to list the players who are not good enough. Oh, I like this one.
I've said it so many times on it, and I'm happy to go through it again. Right back, we're not good enough. Mari's not good enough.
He wants you to name players.
Well, I just have. Whoever's right back ain't good enough.
Chambers, Cedric, Bellerin.
None of them are good enough.
Okay.
Mari isn't good enough to start. In my opinion, Xhaka isn't good enough to start. Right? Now, who else have we got there? We've made the different
El Neni.
El Neni. But again, El Neni's not a starter.
So we're just talking about starters, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we've got players out who will make a difference in the team.
What about Holding?
Holding can do a job, but he's not a starter in my eyes. He's not a starter. He could do a job, but he's not a starter. So, again, people could say excuses. Again, people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear it. Now,
I'm picturing that Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise scene right now in A Few Good Men, Kevin, where he says, you want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. But, Sophie, that is Arsenal fans all over. They cannot handle the truth. They cannot handle we are not great. We stand a much better chance if our strongest team is out there. But when you get past that strongest team, there is not a lot behind it. There isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is fact. It's no excuse. So if you want to say it's an excuse, knock yourselves out. But the truth is that. The truth.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a really good point and question because, you know, Gooner Gossip Girl, Kem, when will we be great again? Who knows?
It's going to take time. And this is something that Arsenal fans, maybe they're going to say that's an excuse, but it is going to take time, Sophie. I swear to you. Because you know why, Sophie? Every single year, the Man Cities of this world, the Chelseas of this world, Liverpool, and whoever, they strengthen. They're already further ahead than we are. We're trying to play catch up.
All right, Kev. We have 450 people in live chat with us on this fine Tuesday. You know what to tell them, Kev.
225 likes minimum. Come on, guys. Just tap that, smash it, lick it, kiss it, nut it. Do whatever you need to do to hit that like button, please. Come on now, guys. Thanks for joining. Nut it if you have to. Come on, let's get stuck into it. Because I'm enjoying this. I really am.
Okay, this is awesome. All right, Kev, this is from David Smith, which is a very interesting point. Good evening, David. Thanks for sending in your comment. Where's the youth advocates gone? Those who kept hyping our young players and kept pretending as if dropping Oba and Laka for players like Martinelli and Balogun would somehow improve us. David Smith, Kev.
David Smith, I salute you. I salute you. There was a lot of people, go with the kids, da. I was always saying, Sophie, we need experience to carry them. We cannot base it around there. Saka's been unbelievable. Smith Rowe has been unbelievable at times. Martinelli's been unbelievable at times. But fundamentals in football come down to you need experience. And unfortunately, we don't have it. We don't have it. And when you get, just like I said, I think it was against Brentford, so after the Brentford game, when we do not have Aubameyang and Lacazette, for all they're not doing this and they're not doing that, we carry a little bit more of a threat, at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. They've got a bit more experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think Martinelli, we both agree, not set up to fail, but definitely is more effective on the left side and wide, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And, Balogun clearly needs, you've said Balogun, Aziz, you'd like to see them go out on loan. We talked about Mason Mount last night and seeing him and his progression and how his loan deals have helped
4 or 5 loans he's been on.
Elevate him. By the way, the nutting is really hitting a chord with the
boink it. I don't know about that. Listen, do whatever you need to do. Just hit it.
Magic Mike just apparently has tweeted a picture of himself licking the like button. So well done.
Lick it up, Magic Mike. Lick it up.
And the friends in chat, the squaddies, are having a little bit of a... Newman and Virginia having a tiff right now. Newman accusing Virginia of sucking up to Super Kevin Campbell, and Virginia is not having any of it.
You're damn right. Virginia will knock you out, Newman. You better watch yourself.
Okay.
You give him hell, Virginia.
And as Johnny Boy says, please hit the like button, but please hit the like button responsibly. Okay, here we go.
Like that.
This is from Temp Step for you, Kev. If we had our 9 missing players that Arteta alluded to, would we have beaten them?
No, we don't know. But what we're saying is we stand a better chance of getting results and being more competitive than getting run over by the Chelsea juggernaut. That's my point. Because first off, Gabriel is better equipped to handle Lukaku. That's for sure. Because he's stronger, tougher, quicker than Pablo Mari. And that's where all our problems stem from, was Lukaku. So if we could handle him better, then we maybe have a better foothold in the game. And if you've got better players in your team, then we could be more of a force going forward.
Okay. I get it. Okay. Here we go. Another one for you, Kev. Let me just get down to this one. This is from Chris Fraser. He says, big up Sophie and Kev. Love the show. Sorry I missed it live. I'm with Sophie on what most is said. I'm tired of hearing about it's the players. We have some poor players, sure, no doubt, but Mikel has been here for 19 months, issued 20 new contracts, had 4 transfer windows and a full pre-season, but we are worse now than we were under Emery. Of the starting 11 today, 8 of those players were signed or renewed by Arteta. He's the one who chose Leno over Emi. So 9 of those 11 players are his players. Stop making excuses for Mikel. What's your take there, Kev?
Not making excuses for Mikel. Here's the thing. Yeah, he signed who he needs to sign and the inner workings of the club have to go on. But you still need your best team out there. What is wrong with people? Football isn't about because you've signed a player, all of a sudden they're going to be the greatest. The football, to be competitive, you need your best team out on the football pitch. That's the bottom line. You need your best team. If your best team isn't out there, especially when you're playing catch up to some of them other teams, what do you expect? Can Arsenal fans honestly tell me they expected that team to beat Chelsea?
Well, I picked us to win because I felt like that we could do it.
Yeah, but you picked and you felt. But realistically, I hope, yeah, we get lucky. But it was always a hiding to nothing for me, Soph. It was always going to be a real difficult one. And you know what, to what Chris said, yeah, the manager still has to have players from the old regime because he cannot get rid of it. We can't even get rid of the ones we want to get rid of, Chris. So he still has to renew some because you can't just get rid of everyone. We won't have a football club.
Yeah, and I agree with Mark. I just want us to compete again. Where did it go? There you go, Mark. That's all I've asked for. When people ask me what my expectations are in the Premier League, I said to be competitive. Yeah, that was my response.
Sophie, I want to be competitive, but understanding how we're going to be competitive is the key. Substandard players, unfortunately, players who we say shouldn't even be at the Arsenal, some of them are playing.
You know, Magic Mike's calling you out again for your I'm not Newman. He's calling you out again for the amount of points you picked out of the first 10 games.
Yeah, but he can do that. It's already record. I've done it, so he can call me up for whatever he likes. It doesn't matter. That bit doesn't matter, Sophie. What matters to me is us getting a competitive team out on that pitch. So whether it's with Mikel Arteta or without Mikel Arteta, that's what I care about.
Kev, look, I've been in positions where you see a very talented, seasoned executive lose their job at a film company, and, you know, this rush of youth comes in and they're managing people who have more experience than them, and it doesn't work out, you know, and it's it's tough when you have, you know, a novice in the recruitment division. You have a novice managing director really managing a multi-billion-dollar business like that. You have a novice manager, and then you're also asking to rely on young players. Some would say it's a recipe for disaster. Some would say that, yeah, go on.
So what about before then? Wasn't there experience at recruitment level?
100%. But the point is we're trying to fix that mess.
No. The point is, you're talking about people who are inexperienced, but it doesn't matter. I'm saying whether they're inexperienced, we've had the experience, and we've still been in this legacy crap. Where's the assets? So again, pointing the finger doesn't really help. We are in it where we are. We are in it where we are. So again, whether people agree with me, disagree with me, it's everyone's opinion to believe what they want to. Chris doesn't agree with me. That's fine. But the facts are the facts, Sophie. The facts are we have spent just as much or more than anybody else over the last 5 years. What do we have as a football club in assets to show for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's poor all the way around. I guess when you've seen a mess transpire in that manner, then the goal is to at least arm yourself with some experience to dovetail the inexperience. And you know, it's a little bit tricky. Let me read this one to you. We're 46 minutes in. We've just got a few minutes left here. Try and get through these as much as possible. Hope you're enjoying the YouTube comment show. These are comments from listeners and Arsenal fans who can't always join us live. And there's always good dialogue going on in the comment section. Nicholas Wiggins says, Sophie says she'd rather lose with the under 23s, but that's a lie. Okay. Kevin tells her the same thing every week. I don't think Kev calls me a liar, but fine. 9 out of 10, the team with the better players wins the football match. On most weekends in the Premier League, we have the team with the worst players, but yet Sophie and others expect Arsenal to win with their 1 out of 10 chance and inferior players. It's an interesting point. I mean, I've screamed for Martinelli. I've been wanting Balogun to get a chance. I've even said at some point, you know, before Lokonga, I'm like, why not throw Aziz in there? And your response has been, as you've shown, I just wanted to read Nicholas's comment out because the youth isn't always the answer. And at the same time, we just don't have the senior players to make them look good like we used to. That's the trick here. I don't believe for a second Balogun couldn't be great with really good players around him. I don't believe for a second Martinelli wouldn't thrive in that position with better players around him.
So that is my point that I want to make to everyone in chat. It used to be youngsters really only came into the first team with all the experienced players, so the experienced players could help them. Our youngsters are carrying our experienced players. That's not right. That is not right. So I feel sorry for Balogun. I feel sorry for Martinelli. I feel sorry for Smith Rowe. I feel sorry for Saka, because Saka, when really he should be resting up, taking his time, he's been thrust back in to try and help and save us. And it's more than him. It really is.
I wanted to put this comment up from Ishtiak. What a lovely name, by the way. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's interesting because I'm reading this for a reason, because there are a few DMs I got, Kev, about David Luiz. And I know he was someone a lot of people complained about, but what he did bring was this leadership and in the dressing room. No matter what anyone says about David Luiz, there are a lot of players that looked up to him and respected him. And this comment, I don't understand why no one's talking about it, but there's a huge void left after we've lost David Luiz. We need experience in that back line. It's so evident to see. Now, Gabriel doesn't provide the same experience as David Luiz, but he definitely matches the talent. Not saying David Luiz has won everything, but Gabriel is probably one of our most if not the most talented, strongest Kev at the back right now. What do you think? What do you make of that comment?
Yeah, I think we kind of covered this in pre-season, and we lack experience. We do, and yeah, I understand. People didn't want David Luiz at the club anymore, but he's a big character in the dressing room. He's very good with the youngsters, and when you lose a player like that, he would have been perfect for how things are going now. But the fact of the matter is, again, Arsenal fans, no, we don't want David Luiz. We don't want the Chelsea rejects. We don't want this. We don't want that. Again, do you remember we asked about a midfielder? Would we take Sanchez or would we take Henderson? And do you remember? A lot of them were saying Sanchez. They don't want the experience. This is what you get when you don't have experience in order to help, to organize, to do certain things, to help the youngsters in the team. We just don't have the experience. So we need our better players back. Sharpish. Not that they're more experienced, but they can raise the level of competitiveness in our team.
Okay, we got one more here, and we'll be doing this every single week, you guys, and I hope it encourages even more of you to leave comments on the shows. We read every single one of them. I'm about to spend most of my afternoon today responding to each and every one of you from the last couple of shows.
And I'm going to get even more deluded for some of you. Chris and all the guys, Armchair, bring it on. I'm ready for you.
Completely. This is from Colin Williams. For me, the pressure on the manager will reach peak time in October when maybe everyone is back and we have played Villa and Palace at home consecutively. If we can't win those games, then you all know the story. I think the pressure is going to come sooner, Kev, but what do you think of Colin's comment?
Yeah, look, I think, as I said, I don't know whether Mikel Arteta is going to be in a job in 2 weeks' time or 2 months' time. I don't know. For me, Sophie, you know the reason why I say it's the players? Because they're the ones that have to do the job. So it doesn't matter who's on the touchline. They still have to do the job on the pitch. And this is where people have to realize. They keep calling me Arteta's lawyer. No. It's the players that do the job. The players have to play Chelsea. The players have to play Brentford. The players have to play Manchester City on Saturday or Sunday. They're the ones that have to do the business. That is the bottom line. We want a competitive team, then the team have to be able to be out on the pitch, adjust out on the pitch, and win and trust each other.
Yeah, I agree with Universal Greek. I think if we go into the North London derby and we only have 2 or 3 points and we lose that, and if we lose it to them in a horrible fashion, I think, I don't even know if they'd sack.
Of course he could.
He could be, but I'm not.
Yeah,
he could be. I don't know.
Sophie, do you know what? He could be gone before then. We just don't know.
If we lose to Norwich, Kev, that's unacceptable. If we lose to Norwich,
Sophie, so he could be gone before then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't know. I don't know. Only the powers that be would know.
Absolutely.
Because
okay,
you know what, Soph? I just want to say this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then the powers that be have a real decision to make. Here's the reason why. There is going to be no experienced manager who comes into Arsenal and doesn't expect the funds to be able to get experience into this football club. Not one experienced manager will be looking to come in and just work with what he's got. Although we expect a couple more to come in, and we expect our full squad is a lot better than we're showing. But if Arteta
Yeah.
goes and another manager comes in, he might not like the look of what he sees.
Right, exactly. We have a Leicester City fan in the house. Please keep Arteta. I love him. How did it go for you last night? Not very well, huh? Be careful, Leicester City fan, but we love that you're here hanging out.
There,
yeah, very facetious, Zidane.
Oi, what's that, Zidane? Yeah, Zidane. He's taking the Michael, isn't he? Yeah, he's taking the Michael.
Very much so. Kev, before we go, there seems to be a story brewing. Now it's supposedly Lacazette to Barcelona. Seems like Lacazette is an asset that
Lacazette
other
to
teams...
Barcelona for who?
I don't know for who.
They've
I
got
don't
no
even
money.
know if
They
we
can't sign anybody.
Well, hopefully it's not for Coutinho, Kevin.
Well,
I'll take Sergio Dest. Serginho Dest.
Yeah, I'll take him in a heartbeat. By the way,
Can we get that?
I wouldn't want to swap him for Lacazette. Like I said, we got nobody to do that job. That ugly job up top. Rumor has it, Real Madrid have put in a bid for Mbappe.
This is actually supposedly real in its
137 million apparently.
Yes. And you would say that it's the where are they getting that money from? Real Madrid.
Well, don't forget Real Madrid haven't bought a player for about 3 or 4 years. They've only signed 3 transfers. So while they've been redoing their stadium, they've been counting the pennies because that's what they have to do now.
We got a response. We were absolutely trashed last night. Absolutely deserved to lose. No excuses. Well done. That's proper opposing fan dialogue right there. Recognize it when you see it, and hopefully Rodgers won't choke again, Zidane, and you will get into the Champions League this season. Let's see. It's 160 million apparently for Mbappe. Looks like PSG said nope. Of course they said nope. Eddie Nketiah to Crystal Palace. Let's make that happen. Kev said on this show last night, 10 million, take it. Stop trying to get 20 million for a player who he's not worth 20 million. He's not worth 20 million, Kev, either. Come on, let's be honest.
He's got a year left. If you were going to do it, you do it last season.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the other thing. Mbappe's only got this season left.
Yeah. I mean, there's rumors about Ronaldo and, all that jazz. And I mean, it's still not going to end. Who knows how this is going to go. Tammy, thank you so much. We're glad you enjoyed it. Soph, at some point we do have to let the podcast end, and we love that you can listen to it forever. The good news is you'll be on tomorrow. And that will be a cool show. We're going to do something a little bit different. We've done it once before. Squaddies, come prepared. Because there's so much negativity right now, you guys. And I know it's hard. We know it's tough. But we are still the Arsenal Football Club, all right? So I'm asking you all to come prepared with 5 positive things about the Arsenal right now, but you cannot include Saka or ESR. You cannot include Saka or Emile Smith-Rowe because they would be number 1 and 2 on our list, or number 2 and 1 on our list. 5 positive things about the Arsenal. Think about it. I'm telling you, when you sit down and you think about it, it is possible. All right?
Can I say number 1?
Yes.
Kieran Tierney's going to be all right. It was only cramp.
Yes, that's perfect.
Can I say number 2? Martinelli's going to be all right. It was only cramp. So I've got my 2 in.
Cliff saying 5. Good luck with that. LOL. Now, come on. The third kit, the third shirt. I mean, you guys are hilarious. The fact that we're not playing right now. Okay.
Hey, by the way, I'm going to
take the comedy.
I'm going to Bruk his neck. Do you know what? I've just realized. This is the second show. I'm going to Bruk him up. This is the second show he's tried to dig me out about my
Tell him,
prediction.
Kev.
Magic Mike. Do you know what, Magic Mike? I'm done with you, Magic. I'm done with you. You keep boiling your microwave, your water. You wrong it.
Absolutely love it. Okay, so tomorrow Lucy and Sophie from Gooner Gossip TV will be here for the Wednesday Women's Show. We're looking for 5 positive things about the club. Come prepared. You can't use Saka or Emile Smith-Rowe. Kevin will be doing the game. We'll be on air after the game tomorrow. Okay. Kev, what's your prediction for the League Cup?
On air,
you're not doing it. You're doing the West Brom game.
Yeah, Sky. I'm at
Sky
doing.
Yeah,
I'm at Sky doing the West Brom game. So, yeah, hopefully a nice Arsenal win.
Okay.
And that's what I definitely need it, or else the heat's going to be really turned up, isn't it?
We should try and get Kev to say Bruk the Neck on Sky. a secret word, Kev, for the squaddies. How about that?
It's not exactly a word, is it? It's a saying.
It's a saying. I know.
You never know; it might come out tomorrow. Also got a Bruk the Neck. You never know.
Go
it
on,
might
Kev.
come out.
Go on, Super Kev.
I can't promise, but you never know; it might come out.
Kevy, don't go there, Newman. He will absolutely. I need a double one of these for you. Kev, well done.
Sound, you're going to need the bones breaking when I get older.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, Kev, brilliant first YouTube comment show. Love it. I think everyone enjoyed it. We'll be doing more of it. Absolutely more of it this season.
We've got to do more.
These comments
especially, Sophie, especially now that time is trying for us all. It's difficult for us all. It's not easy. But if we choose to deal with it, I think it's important that our fans, the squaddies, know we're not just going to bypass what they're looking to say.
Exactly, Kev. And thanks for saying that, because this is everyone's show. It always has been. It always will be. So we'll be doing this once a week or once every other week, but we'll be doing it. So look out for it. We'll let you know when the next one is. All right. Even the Leicester City fan has enjoyed the show. Love it. Kev, why don't you take us out?
Hey, squaddies. Listen, I loved YouTube, guys. I loved all, and I mean all, bar one. And you know who that is. I'm going to Bruk him up back, Kevy. I'm going to mash you up. You watch. Anyway, squaddies, love you all. Don't forget, hit that like button. And always remember, up the Arsenal. Well, I know it's difficult right now, but we got to stay together. And squaddies, I salute you. And at ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.